Welcome to Reach Consulting. My name is Caleb Motley, and on behalf of Reach Consulting, I'd like to thank Sonic Corporation for the opportunity to analyze their firm in order to help them gain the level of success that we at Reach Consulting know they're capable of. In the first part of this presentation, we will be analyzing the industry of the quick service restaurants and assessing the current status of Sonic Corporation as a firm, while also noting the core capabilities that they possess. On the second part of this presentation, we will be assessing the current fit between Sonic's strategies, their environment, and their organizational capabilities. We'll also be formulating a new strategy so that Sonic can reach its highest potential.
Hi, I'm Michael Chapman, an associate of Reach Consulting. Sonic can survive and shape itself to comply with the environment of the quick service restaurant industry by understanding the current and future environment. Since quick service restaurants are in competitive rivalry, Sonic needs to continue comedic adverts and national market advertising. But substitutive threats means marketing isn't enough. Differentiated food is an industry norm and a way the industry attracts customers. In addition, Sonic stores must be visible and accessible at high traffic locations to remain competitive. In regards to change, Sonic's labor-intensive service means that government wage regulations will greatly impact Sonic. Particularly, fickle customers will also force tremendous change in Sonic's menu healthiness and consumer and technology use. Sonic has a continuous need for marketing, product differentiation, and business locations to maintain its market concentration. In addition, it needs trend forces of healthy food, regulation, and technology, which will shape the environment Sonic competes in.
Hi, I'm Holly, and I'm here to talk to you about Sonic's strategy. The firm's strategy is made up of their goals, product market focus, and value proposition. Sonic's goals include increasing their earnings per share by 14 to 15% this year and building 6 franchisee locations in colder climate regions by 2018. Their product focus is wide. They offer specialty drinks, burgers, and ice cream. Sonic operates in 44 states with over 3,500 facilities, which makes their market focus narrow in comparison to the industry. Their value proposition consists of a retro 1950s drive-in atmosphere, and they create a unique guest experience by using car hops. Also, they give greater value through offering half-price drinks and slushes during their happy hour.
Sonic's financial performance is a little troubling. They're falling behind their competitors. They're not falling rapidly, but they are starting to slip. Let's start with the debt-to-equity ratio. Sonic's debt-to-equity ratio is massive at 5.52, which is almost more than 5 times what the industry averages of 1.08. A lot of this is because Sonic's franchisees require a lot of debt, but still a very high, unacceptable number. Sonic's profits are at 7.14%, which may seem okay, but when you compare it to the industry average, which is 9.9%, it's a little low. And their top competitor, McDonald's, gets 20.1% profit margin, which is light years higher than what Sonic has. When it comes to market performance, Sonic is doing a little better. In 2013, they had a 7.01% market share, which ranked them 11th among the limited service restaurant industry. Much of their sales come from their franchisees. They account for $3.39 billion of Sonic's sales. When it comes to sales growth, the franchisees are doing much better than Sonic Corp. The franchisees grow at a rate about 2.8%, while Corp is actually declining at negative 0.5%. Sonic is pretty average when it comes to the industry, as their competitors range anywhere from 1 to 6%.
Hello again. I'm here now to discuss Sonic's capabilities and provide Recon's recommendations of easily extendable potential capabilities. Sonic has an incredible resource bank, successful managerial styles, and a unique portfolio of capabilities. You have resources that nobody else in the quick service restaurant industry has. Car hops, marketing campaigns, drink offerings, strong vendor relationships, and hired managerial resources are strong indicators of practical business expertise. Sonic has gained strong customer loyalty, which itself is strong enough to be considered a resource. Recon recommends that Sonic's capabilities, like store, consistency, and innovation, wither from importance under the potential gains from increases in capabilities like productivity and adaptability. Adaptability is an innate feature of Sonic's decentralized managerial preference for franchised operations and can give it a leading edge, enabling Sonic to provide for ever-changing consumer preferences. Implementing programs and making changes ahead of the industry can make Sonic more profitable and increase market share. Sonic's ability to be productive is shown through its current ability to operate. However, Recon is of the strong belief that fostering more of this productivity at Sonic will enable tremendous future growth. Innovation partnerships with capable outside vendors will keep Sonic's investments in operations very worthwhile. Increased productivity could fully leverage Sonic's customer recognition.
The top 3 influential gaps we found were the gap between America's growing health consciousness and Sonic's product focus, the gap between high traffic locations and Sonic's market focus, and technological advances in Sonic's value proposition. All of these gaps were between the environment and Sonic's strategy. The first gap is a gap between Sonic's product focus and a driver of change, America's growing health consciousness. As healthcare costs and obesity rates soar in the U.S., more Americans are becoming concerned with their health. Sonic offers low-calorie options that are marketed as healthy, but in reality, many of these are nutritionally unbalanced and unhealthy. For example, chili cheese fries and hot dogs were on the low-calorie menu, even though they are loaded with an unhealthy amount of fat and sodium. Americans want nutritionally balanced, healthy, convenient food, and Sonic's product focus is not reflecting that consumer preference. The next gap is between a key survival factor, having locations in high-traffic areas, and Sonic's market focus. As of right now, Sonic has a very limited presence in the north. This affects its growth potential. Sonic's strategy of growth is not consistent with our current disbursement of locations in the U.S. Finally, the third most influential gap is the gap between technology, a driver of change, and Sonic's value proposition. Relative to its competitors, Sonic has not kept up with technological advances. In order to stay competitive, Sonic needs to upgrade its technological offerings to consumers without sacrificing its value proposition of being a 1950s-style drive-in.
Hey, it's Brandon again. As stated earlier, Sonic is financially falling behind their competitors. If they do not change their operations or their strategy, they risk falling even further behind. When doing the pro forma projections for Sonic, we gave them a negative 0.3% sales growth rate for the future based on their last 3 years of sales growth. Sonic's franchisees are actually growing much faster than Sonic Corp, but this won't help Sonic's revenues that much because they only have a 3.72% royalty rate. The market is shifting towards healthier eating and technological advances, so Sonic must adapt. If they do not adapt, they risk becoming a complacent firm, as seen on the projections table in the paper.
Reach Consulting has created 2 strategic proposals. I will be discussing the first, the health strategy. This strategy was created to close the gap between the consumer's growing health consciousness and Sonic's unhealthy product offering. A way to close this gap is to offer a new line of nutritional, low-calorie items possibly endorsed by Weight Watchers. Sonic could promote the new menu by offering some items half price during their 2 to 4 happy hour. They can also incorporate QR codes on the menu that allow guests to pull up detailed nutritional information on items. To determine whether or not these changes would be effective, Reach Consulting will implement the new product line in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the United States' top test markets. After allowing the changes to settle, we will begin to evaluate whether or not to make them permanent.
Hi, it's Caleb again. And for our second strategic proposal, we will be speaking about location. In order to remedy the strategic gap between the key survival factor of location and Sonic's current market focus, we propose Sonic intensify efforts to expand stores in the northern United States. This may cause our debt-to-equity ratio to rise in the short run, but expected revenues would eventually outweigh this debt. Sonic may utilize such methods as indoor car hops, outdoor heaters instead of misters, and removable building covers to keep the current atmosphere as they expand to colder northern climates. For Sonic to maintain their standardized business model, they will need to expand their use of supply chain technology to service the larger geographic region and keep their larger geographic region and their productive capability. Specific challenges include keeping the retro atmosphere with car hops and providing service that makes Sonic America's most loved drive-in. This will allow for higher revenues, increased foot traffic, and more brand awareness. Some expenses incurred from the strategy would be absorbed by franchises in the hopes that this would create a larger sense of ownership for the franchisees in adopting Sonic Corp's new strategy. Overall, Expanding into northern areas would solve the gaps found between current location strategies and the external environment.
We chose the health strategy proposal because we believe it'll be more effective in closing Sonic's most influential gaps and increasing customer loyalty and sales. We believe this strategy is more cost effective and more likely to have a higher ROI. The location strategy proposal carries a more risk because it involves higher startup costs and it's in a geographic area that Sonic's not familiar with. That strategy would need substantially more testing to ensure locations in the north are viable and profitable without sacrificing the 1950s driven atmosphere, and would likely be met with more resistance because of the inherently high risk of expanding into a new market. The health strategy, while also risky, presents less of a risk because it involves modifying the product line of existing locations, not creating new locations. This proposal could possibly fail because the upgrades in technology could potentially cheapen the value proposition customers get from dining at Sonic. A major part of Sonic's strategy is the 1950s retro feel offered to consumers, and changes in technology can create an anachronistic contrast between the atmosphere they're trying to convey and the atmosphere they're actually providing. So after assessing the environment and Sonic's organizational performance, we've concluded that the largest, most important gaps to address are the gaps between the environment and Sonic's strategy. Your strategy components are misaligned with America's growing health consciousness, the necessity of having locations in high traffic areas, and being able to keep pace with technological advances. Our health focus proposal will close your biggest gap between health and your product focus, and will also provide a starting point to close the gap between technology and Sonic's value proposition. With your approval, we would like to move forward immediately and begin testing in the Jacksonville test market.